Alright, welcome to Obduction, More Impressions. My name is TheMav, and this is me continuing my way through Obduction. I haven't finished it yet. Last time I streamed the game I was hopelessly stuck, and that was not because I didn't know the solution to a puzzle or anything, but because I was, well, not too stupid, but I overlooked a little tiny detail. And so I made my way through this game. I'm now much further along, so after I finished that little detail, I managed to finish the first world, and now have access to more worlds. And again, I'm stuck, so for some reason, I have the fortunes of always bringing you with me on this little journey through Obduction whenever I'm stuck. So what these things are, I think I showed you in the previous video. These are seeds. These are the things that the logo of the game is actually made up of. And these things act as teleportation devices. So if I pull this lever, it opens this seed, and then stimulates it with energy or whatever. I don't know what it is. And then you see how it creates a glow, and this glow is effectively the area that it will teleport. And this has interesting consequences, actually. Because if I push the blue button, it will initiate the teleportation sequence. And if there's one thing that I really have to criticize about this game, is that these teleportation sequences at certain points in the game are active parts of puzzles. So you need to teleport back and forth lots of times to be able to solve certain puzzles, and it all means switching between worlds. And as worlds are now real-time 3D environments, well, they take a bit to load. This was now rather quick. The game is installed on my SSD. Previously I had it on my hard drive, so that got better. But well, as I said, if I have to criticize one thing over the course of the game, is that these teleportation sequences at one point take, you know, overhand. They just happen too often. And, well, it deterrents a bit from the flow of the game. This is the third world I visited. This is the jungle world I visited previously, and through the course of the game I was able to not only visit it, but also progress through it. It's a nice lush world, and I mean, look at it. This is real-time 3D, this is Unreal Engine 4. I would say it looks better than even, let's say, Myst 4. And Myst 4 had a nice jungle world. And because it's all 3D generated, you know, they can have so much more of it. This looks just beautiful. I mean, the lighting of Unreal Engine 4 is just beautiful. You have all these shadows. I could even think these are soft shadows. Well, they're softer. They're not really soft shadows, but, you know, the shadows, the interplay of light and shadows, then you have radiosity. You see how these things are in the shade? But they're not really bright. You know, this part is in the sun, so it's brighter, and this is in the shade, so it's a bit darker, but not necessarily really dark. And this is something that 3D engines and graphics cards struggled with for I don't know how long. And this is now something that we can do in the year 2016 in real time. Granted, this is epic quality, if I remember correctly. Let me go to the settings. View distance is Mac, everything is epic except for the water. Oh, there is no other thing than high for the water. Resolution scale 100, so full HD resolution. You know, the frame rate is decent. It was worse when the game came out. I think Nvidia did some magic with the drivers. Which is actually a topic I could talk longer about. Is like, game designers release a game, develop shaders for it, and then Nvidia effectively creates a driver that rewrites these shaders to be more efficient or to run more efficiently on the graphics cards. It's like developers just write something, they say, this is what I intend to do, and then NVIDIA says, fair enough, this is how you should do it if you want to have it run properly on our graphics card. So again, one theme of this game that continues here is these round orbs. Everything you see, or everywhere you run, is effectively a part of the world plucked from another world through these seeds. So this thing right here is effectively, this whole room can be transferred from one end to another through this little device. This round area here is transported with this one, and as I did, this part of the rock here, you know, it's just like a cutout. Ooh, there's a texture seam here. Not nice. And here's another one. This part of the other world, of the main world that I ended up with in the beginning, was transported straight, or was cut out from that world, transported right here, which is why there's this perfect round cutout here. The same will happen when I transport with this one, what I will do in a second. And you see this here? The same perfect round cutout? It's the same thing. It's effectively part of this world in a sphere cut out and placed right in here. Because this other part, these stones here, that's a whole different world. It's actually the second world that you transport to. So now the problem is, here is a bridge, which is controlled by these things here, which contain the Villain number system, I think. And for some reason, this is what you have to draw to do every bridge. It's as simple as that. I could now sit down and calculate what it is. It's 1, 2, then I think this was base 1, this was base 4, base 16, and so on. But why should I if I just need to memorize the shape? Maybe later on in the game I need to actually do some calculations. So there's nothing I can do here. For some reason I was able to bring up that bridge, but it doesn't do me any good, because it only shows me the red laser that I destroyed. Again, a theme that is repeated on every world. There's a laser firing at the sky, effectively at the force field around these globes. And as soon as you destroy the red laser, you can walk through these force fields to teleport from A to B. There is a description in a text later in the game, well, earlier from this point where I'm here, where somebody outside of this globe running towards it will pass right through it as if it doesn't exist. So that's weird. But what I wanted to show you is if I teleport this back. So again, I have to wait for this one to show me it can go down. So again, you see the yellow area is just the part as denoted by the slab at the bottom. Oh yeah, I just noticed loading times are much better on an SSD. So now you see how I transported these two parts out of, you know, interesting. I know where this is in the greater scheme of things, but anyway, I ported this out into this other world. So I now brought this here, which doesn't do me any good. But now, for example, what I can do is port this whole part. You see the green part now is this whole part of the cave. I can bring over to the other world, including these two plates that belong there. Well, now the only problem is that didn't do me any good, didn't it? Interestingly enough, there's this opening in the cave that corresponds with the opening of this building. It just does. Isn't it nice? So the problem is that more or less I would need to have this thing face that one. And the question is, can I rotate this or anything? I can. For some reason, all of a sudden I can rotate this. Either I have misclicked or never tried it out before, but now it makes sense. Of course I can rotate it. So of course I could bring it around. The problem is if I rotate it around, I can't enter it anymore. What could I do? What I could do is I bring this to the other world, rotate it, and there's a chance. Oh yeah, of course I can't enter it while it's rotating. No action sequences for you. Now there's a reason why this bridge might have been extended. Can I go further down? No, can I go up again? Yeah. And here I did something similar. I teleported the whole room to the original world. Switched back. And then when I came back, only with this piece, this pathway was open. So that effectively is just a variation on that theme, but how to do it? For some reason there's another pathway here. But for now it doesn't do me any good. So yeah, let's get back. There is a solution somewhere in here, but one that I haven't seen yet. Of course. The original area doesn't have walls. That could be it. First, let's bring the whole thing back. if I now spin it around... There you go. That was easy. Yeah, for some reason I either overlooked this button or never really pressed it properly. So again, here's the thing. If you remember how to draw it correctly, this is what I do. Because these number system robots have one really awesome feature. They will transform any number you enter to a more optimized form. So it effectively transforms it into the one you need. So where does this bring me? Let's see. Before I do that, however, I will do something else. Because back in the cave, there was another pathway that I could open now. This doesn't lead me anywhere. Interesting. This one's still closed. I'm currently pondering if there's a way to get everything back in order, meaning this one will be here, but this whole room will be over there. So if I transport the whole room over there... Well, there is, but it means if I transfer the whole room over there, it is over there. It is where it belongs, but... Then I can transport this back, so then this one is where it belongs. But then I have no way of going back. So I will bring back the room proper. This effect is actually quite nice. I mean, they take the image that you saw before you initiated the transportation, blow it up into I don't know how many particles, and then just have them change color of the new image. That's quite nice. Even though I guess it's quite hard on the computer, but... I mean, that's basically the idea of why you use Unreal Engine 4 with such a game. You really want to have it look good. So let's see where this takes me. That was an anticlimax. So whatever was here behind the wooden slabs is now over there. But that's exactly what I needed to tidy this one up. And you see this is now going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So without an SSD, this would be a nightmare. Yesterday I played without an SSD. It was bearable, but this is much quicker. You see the colors already changed after a few seconds. And yeah. So for some reason this is still... Huh. Huh. This is a bit different than I remembered, but okay. Oh yeah, of course. Another one of those. Who would have guessed? What comes after the teleportation puzzle is yet another teleportation puzzle. Maybe Assign Wells is in cahoots with Nvidia and AMD, trying to sell new CPUs and GPUs. Obduction not running quick enough? So that didn't do me really any good, because now the whole room is here. But... well, let's take this one back then. Let's see what it will look like. Back in the jungle world. You know, this is what I don't get. Why is this one still here? Huh. No matter. But how? So I teleported first this thing over, came back, teleported the whole thing over, came back with this, and it returned this as well. And that's the pathway I want to go. It's as if it's as if they're linked somehow. That's really weird. I mean, definitely weird. So I'm sorry for all you watching. This is just me teleporting back and forth between two worlds, trying to make sense of it all. And you know, Obduction is a game that is to be enjoyed. It's a solitary experience, not necessarily made for big audiences or something. This is definitely not a spectator game. So, I moved this one over. Well, let's try this one. If you can't clean up the chaos, embrace it. So for some reason, whichever seed is on this side, you know, the seed here somehow and don't ask me how, but this is just seems to be the logic, is also tied to this one here. So both plates need to be in the same world, or both plates are transported. So now that they're both over there, I can go through here. Interesting. That's a piece of radiator. So you see how this other world just ends. This is interesting. But then somehow it's connected in there. It's weird. It's an elevator that I'm not gonna take. Trench goes nowhere. Probably there's something that needs to be rotated or anything to make space. So can I go up? I can. Yep. Rotating maze. And somehow there's a piece missing because I should be able to change these as well. That one needs to be that way. Well, that's of course something that I want to go. So will that setup make sense? I don't know yet. Let's look around. I can go further down. That's what I wanted to know. Oh, please, God, no. So I can rotate the whole upper thing, which will make these lower areas available. And then I can teleport these lower areas. Yeah, I was afraid of that. Let's see. And I think I know where this is going. It's this big round thing in the original world with the... Oh no, somewhere else. This is interesting. Because in the upper world, in the first video, there was this big round globe that you could move in that was made out of stone that you could rotate at the bottom. And there was a reason for it, because that was part of a puzzle, and then you just transport something else there, and then you could use the rotation device to move it into the orientation that you needed it to be, and then you teleport it back. Let's see where I am, where this will lead me. Back a reward item. So here I can finally move this up. And that's this door that I couldn't open before. Very well. Oh, here's this device, okay. Oh. Here the game needs to load. Something. Oh yeah, hell, welcome to the stream, Tesla. Yeah, it's like... I think I just got lucky. Or are you referring to this riddle with the labyrinth? Because I'm about to figure this out if the game loads the next section of the level. Alright, let's see. Yeah, I figured as much that this would now finally open up the pathway to the stream. The interesting thing is, if I remember correctly, up here there's the teleport to the other side of the island, and I don't remember the mountain going in that far. The question is now, what is on the other side? Is this where I came from? Yeah. I could teleport over, but for now, let's see what else is there to discover. Not much, apparently. Okay, this is a little prediction that I'm making. And I'm afraid of this because this will mean a lot of teleportation. I teleported a piece of nothingness is now on the other side. And then I rotate it. And I need to rotate the big labyrinth in such a way that if I teleport this back, that this fits. And I will use this room. Oh no. I could probably teleport. Okay, then I can rotate it right here. Okay. So I rotate it right here into whichever position I need it to be. And then I teleport it back. Well, either way. Lots of teleportation. Whee. So let's check if this was right. Probably not. But you know, what else is there to do? Of course, I haven't remembered which direction it's... Oh, no, it's rotating whichever way I tell it to. Fair enough. So... up 2 stories. Let's see, was this right? I don't know. Actually, also depends on where I want to go. Either I want to go there first, or over there. So let's rotate the whole thing. That won't do me any good, or will it? No? One more? So I can go in here, then I can move there, and then I can activate the bridge. That's something I want to do now, because the other way would be to... Well, if I have that one correct... How can I ever get this there? I think only by switching. Question is if switching pieces is actually possible, because that one I can only make go here and here. this wouldn't get me anywhere. Let's fix this one first. So I need to teleport it and need to move it twice, counterclockwise. So let's bring it over. Yeah, I have to wait for this thing to initialize and then I can teleport. So, let's go up. Oh, no, no. Is this counterclockwise? Yeah. I think another one. And let's move back and see if this was good. See if I was right. Of course I was wrong. It's turning further than I expected. Now the question is, does it turn further than I expected, and thus I have to orient it differently? Because well, let's see if that's right, because if I want to make it right, I have to move it once clockwise. Because I'm afraid that's too far. Let's see. Yep, it's too far. So what does this mean? It could mean that to make this work... Oh God, this could be complicated. I mean, it effectively means that, you know, however I rotate this, it's not necessarily aligned with the rotation device on the other end. Let's check something out. I move this piece there. I go down. Go through here. Because apparently I need to leave this as is. I will teleport myself the whole thing over. So this stayed where it is. Walk all the back out. All the way back to the machine. Ah. It's a straight piece. That's good to know, because I could use that somewhere. So now, this world not only involves teleporting back and forth, it involves running back and forth. You know, it's a decent puzzle, but all this teleporting and running, god damn it, that's one way to inflate the playtime. Back in the days of Mist and Riven, this would be like one zip click. It's something I really miss. In Mist and Riven, if you walked a path once before, you had this little flash icon, so you could zip right from one end to the other, because it was like the game saying, yeah, I know where you're going, you know where you're going, so let's pretend we can zip there. So, where could I use a straight piece? Not here. Maybe there. Maybe here. So, it could be that it even needs several different solutions, so... So let's say if I have this there, I go here, 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 and then I be where I want to be. Or... So for that I only need to turn this one around. How do I get there? I would need two straight pieces, so that doesn't work. If I move that one, The question is, whatever this bridge leads me, or whatever it does, if it is a bridge, the question is if I can come from there again, because then I could say, oh no, I can't. No. So the best way would be to say straight piece here, 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 and then here. So first I need to turn this one around, counterclockwise. Let's do that first. I'm not mistaken, that was counterclockwise. No, that one fits. Now I exchange that piece with a straight one. Oh yeah, that was too low. In a weird sense, this feels a bit like watching the later scenes of a series of Stargate, where they were hopping through Stargates here and there. So from Stargate to Stargate, through Stargate, and yet another Stargate. That show really got ridiculous. At one point, they effectively created a wormhole of Stargates. That show really took that idea and went with it. So, now we go back with this straight piece. Knowing fully well that I probably have to teleport back and forth at least once to get the orientation right, because it's only doing 90-degree turns. Because now we need to call the elevator first. Fortunately, there's a call elevator button. Imagine there wouldn't be one. Yeah, of course it was wrong. So, I turn this any direction. So let's do this. Wait until the wall is, then you can eliminate it, then you can teleport. So... Thank you. This must have been a nightmare to play test. Now I know that in the other world there's an angled piece. And that I wasn't able to get that one right. So what I'm gonna do now is move this back. And exchange that piece with this one. Hoping that I don't need to do more back and forth to overcome the 90-degree problem. We'll see. Because that would mean that I need to turn it around, throw it in another slot, bring it back, turn it around again. Yeah, no. I mean, they can't do that. That would be like... Seriously. They can't. They won't. I mean, they wouldn't. Would they? So first let's see how this will now fit into the great scheme of things. Come on, where's the trigger? There it is. Whoever built this effect, you know, he definitely didn't get paid enough. Judging by the amount of time it's being used. There's the elevator. What do you say? It was correct. Hooray! So now... I'm moving it so it can go over there. I probably need to exchange this piece yet another time to get over there, but now that I have at least some understanding of the way this works, it shouldn't be much of an issue. There we go. Let's take the lower path. Check where we are. Because this definitely looked like the straight path to go to continue the game. But I like to walk around a bit first. A, take in a bit of the scenery, and B, let's see if I can find some... Yeah, I finally memorized. I'm always on the lookout for some tips and information. Because now what I can do, because I've activated all the bridges, I can move this labyrinth piece into the final position. So I have that done, you know. I can say, okay, that's done. I don't need to do it. So while I'm still concerned with that piece of the puzzle... No, that was the wrong way around. I don't think this should be it. I could continue with this setup as is. Wonderful. So now let's check the photos. Did I do a picture of... No. By the way, this problem with the pictures being too dark and everything, apparently that was fixed in a new patch. Doesn't look like it, still looked bad, but they say they fixed it. They're still too dark, but in any way, old photos aren't fixed. So the old photos still will be barely usable. That's it. Zoom game. As for the rest, I will just leave it as is. So let's go up here. There's a way down. This is interesting.
This desperate situation up here. If you could, please. Hurry. I appreciate.
You know, the more I listen to it, the more I am under the impression that this is just a projection of an alien that doesn't speak my language. And if I read correctly, there was, you know, there were these 3 species. And there was one that was able to learn the language because they were able to do mimicry. And now I try to remember whether the race that did the mimicry was the evil race. But you know, this is an adventure game. I don't think there's gonna be bad stuff. Oh yeah, rail sequences. I love those in Riven. In Riven there were these pre-recorded rail sequences that took you from one island to the next, and I love those. Because that was really a roller coaster thing. And they were really well done, where you would, you know, start up in the air and then you would go underwater, and they were really nicely done. Maybe one other day I'll do some videos of Riven. I haven't played it in years. I think I've finished it twice or 3 times. That was easy enough. I think I finished it 3 times, but of course it was long ago enough so that I haven't memorized everything or still know everything. So I disengaged one barrier, but I'm afraid there are more, and I haven't disengaged those. And that was not worth it. Ooh. See this conspicuous circle? This is another area that I probably can teleport to. Well, I disabled one of them, but how do I disable the other? Let's see, maybe if this thing can drive me all the way there, I can take a look around, because fortunately it waits long enough, and maybe I can take a look around to find out. Down there. There's the console. And I saw something of interest. As you see, there is a pathway into the mountain, which means, you know, teleport. How do I get there? With this labyrinth? Let's see. Yeah. Through the labyrinth. So let's figure that one out. So first I need to go through here again. Up here. Through here. Well, at least the game makes me run around so much that I can get a good look at all the scenery. Appreciate the beauty of the game. So, I want to go there. So let's see. Now one option is that I find out how I can teleport there, because then I can move this way. The other question is there a way I can get there without this? If I move this back here and turn this 180 degree, that will be the solution, because then I have a straight pathway. So, no, wrong way. So I need to return this once clockwise. Easy enough. Hey, I haven't been teleporting in like 10 minutes, I think. This is progress! What did I say? Clockwise, right? Clockwise. This was clockwise, yeah. Let's go back. Let's see, I go there, there, there. Yeah, this should work. There we go. Where will it take us? Here, this looks like... That's a beautiful world over there. Where will this path take us except into areas where the frame rate is really struggling? This is beautiful. Look at it. Can I please get rid of the mouse cursor? let's see if these photos are actually... Oh, they're all too dark. Too bad. And if I use Steam, I will have this stupid cursor in view. But well, what I'll try to do, put it in somewhere. Where I can effectively shop them out. Oh, so it hides when moving and comes back when I'm still. Well, that's good. So another teleport. Yeah. This gets me exactly where I need it to be. Because here I can then open up the second gate. That should be it. This is wonderful. I mean, this is something that Sign always is great at, creating these... What's that tagline? Creating worlds? That's what they do. It's wonderful. They always did jungles and, you know, scenes with overflowing with nature. They always did those. They're just great. Actually, I think I will keep the small cursor. It's not detracting too much. So, let's do a small little roller coaster ride. That looked interesting. Hey, wait. Dare I say it? These look like stasis chambers. The ones that all the others went to. Because this is a oh my, beautiful. This is the story told about, you know, the guys fleeing and arriving here and then going through the gates and everything. This is it. Sorry, was there a ramp that yeah. Very good. So just closed the door after I arrived. Because that's the good neighbor I am. So let's see. Is there some... exposition here? Not yet. Let's do a bit of exploring. Two. Mm-hmm. Anything I can do for you? I'm afraid not. And that's the thing that in the original village they said I should keep my hands from. Now, are you an aggressor or a defender? If I only remembered what the races look like. That's an alien. How do I get back up again? So, all the Villain Inhumans, and even some Mofang. Except for whoever that was. It's down there. So who is 222? Okay, now the mouse cursor is too small. Let's increase it. Better. Hey. Can we see him in here? Trar is a Remainer. Interesting. To 7 to 8 to 3 Korvur Orba Araya as well. Remainer Joseph 222 floor 14 position 13. Why Joseph? Else in there? No. Can I get over there? Out of there? No. Now the problem is... what's the number system again? I think it was something with power of 4. The problem is if I could now go back to the original world, I could hammer in a number and it could tell me what it looks like. So I think the upper 4 things. I think these. Were in 1 or 1664. Wait a second. I remember something from this room. No, that's not it. Oh, wait. something with 16, so we're getting closer. The problem was that originally it was 15. Now, if I remember the number system correctly, is that you can do substitutions. And it's this substitution. No. The funny thing is, if I could go back, I could punch in the number and it would give me the pattern. And that's effectively what I did. And I think it gives me this. Of course, I could have memorized the whole number system and then could come up with 222 myself, which is like 128 plus 64 plus 128 plus 60, 128, so 172. 128 plus 64 is 192. Or is it? Yeah, it's 192. Plus 16 is 208. Plus 12 is 220. Plus 2 is 221. Yeah. So, now what? Now there's nothing else I can do. I mean, he looks familiar. He looks like the guy from the videos. But he's in stasis. There are no other buttons I can press. Interesting, that triggered this door. Still can't help that poor guy. That looks like the mayor guy. Yeah. The problem is this game has no save game function. So... I would love to know what happens if I go in there and do something. Ah, the curiosity, it's killing me. So this was the original pathway they took to the chambers. Okay, now triggered the bomb. I thought I had some more leeway, but now apparently I triggered the bomb and possibly triggered an ending. Let's see. This is personal things. Wonderful. That's an achievement unlocked. Yeah, that's interesting. Of course, no music. Executive backer. Interesting. The Kickstarter elite. Obduction advocates. I mean, fair enough. In the I always forget the name, Henrath or whatever the first world's name was. There are notes. Oh, I'm sorry. There are notes hung up. Oh, Epic Games has helped them. Very nice. There are notes hung up to say, okay, if you see this, don't get too close or whatever. And as I said, curiosity. The curiosity was killing me, and I just went there, and the bomb went off, and that's that. So, yeah. I'm now tempted to click on back immediately and get back into the game. But the question would be, because I haven't read up on this, is there a post-credit scene? Problem is, this game had some considerable amount of money. So, as is with all crowdfunded games in recent times, the credits, of course, are inflated by naming all the backers. You know, that pledged over a certain amount, because that's effectively what people pledged for, to, you know, be in the credits. I have to say that by the amount of people that are doing this, and the amount of people that appear in the credits, this is not necessarily a perk anymore. This is really a perk that I would then maybe reserve to the top tier or something, because then it's meaningful. At this level, it's not really meaningful. I won't skip this, interrupt this, or do anything with it for now. But I think, for example, Broken Age. In Broken Age, you have the possibility to type your name while the credits were rolling. If you pressed the key, it jumped directly to the backer starting, whose name started with that key. So you could actually do type as you find. Oh, and there was a guy with Unicode characters that didn't really work. That went through quality assurance. Yeah, so you could type your name in, and then it would skip directly there, so you could actually tell people, see, this is me in the credits. And you could actually use the arrow keys to scroll through it, so you could speed it up, slow it down, and oh god, there was just one class of backers. Oh god. So I don't know if this is possible here as well, but I try to remember which other game it was. Was it Super Hot? I don't know how much money I spent on Super Hot, but something was there as well. So Chris Will, the psychic math weatherman, wonderful. Yeah, as I said, look at this wall of text. It's like, okay, it's a nice thing, but you know, it's so many people. Depending on how many people backed, you could start and name each and every backer you have in there. But again, it makes money. You know, you tell people, hey, you can kickstart my game for $20. Because it's an indie title. Or you could spend $100, but then you get a name in the credits. So name in the credits costs you nothing, because it just means get me an export of all the backers with more than $100. Throw that in a CSV file and have that imported into the engine. That's like no work at all. But in that case, it gives you $80 more. So why not? By definition, I'm actually a backer as well, but because I backed after Kickstarter, I don't think I'm an official backer. You know, they called me back and I got access to this game as if I had backed on Kickstarter, so I got the key and everything, so I have it on Humble Bundle, GOG, and Steam, and so on. But I wasn't part of the original Kickstarter, so I don't expect to be part of the credits. So yet another list of backers, where it be, still be, Big Dog Dad, Bobbinator, B, still B, C. There you go. Sometimes it's nice to see, especially with international titles, to have some names and try to guess the nationality. Claudia Kraft, for example, I'd say is German. But then Colin Elvin Davis, British. Craig Koppelman, American. I don't know. Daryl N. Parker Jr. Could be a Brit. With some, it's ambiguous. Some others are Diane Schwertfeger. That's definitely German. Dimitrios Katsiantonis. Sounds Greek. That's the problem, you know. Even if something sounds Greek, could be that his family immigrated to America 200 years ago. So it's like, Florian Wolfsjäger, that's German. François Cournot. Franco-Canadian? I don't know. So yeah, well, I let the backers run through to see if there is a post-credit sequence or anything else, or how I can go back to my previous save game, whatever. There you see Jérôme Mollaret. There, these A's with some weird character after it. I saw this in my time in my job. I saw this only if something was imported to a Microsoft product. So you had a Unicode multi-byte string with special characters in it, and you had this on Linux or Unix, you know, a web server, which is usually Unix-based Unicode character ending, and then you imported it to Microsoft Word, and then from Microsoft Word you imported it somewhere else. You know, no matter the direction, if you see characters like this, interesting tidbit, Microsoft. There was a Microsoft product in there. High probability. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, that's at least in my experience a Microsoft product in there. So as I said, well, the credits are rolling a little in between verdict, if you want. This video is titled More Impressions. I think what you've seen so far was not only an impression, this was more or less a partial playthrough. Obduction is in so many ways a great successor to the Myst game series. I mean, it has the looks down. It looks fantastic, even though it's real time. The choice Unreal Engine 4, wonderful. This and they really went high end with this. There was a bit of outrage when they posted the system requirements for Obduction, because they were quite high. And after what I saw, naturally they are high, because they really try to recreate or create the worlds, the visions that they had, and they in the past used pre-rendered scenes for that. They use, you know, they ray traced all that stuff and then created either 3D scenes of it or use still images. So they really try to achieve this here, and I was under the impression that Myst 5 End of Ages was somehow held back on it, held back on it. And that game was, in a sense, much more similar to the URU games, which again were graphically held back by the technology available then. But then they took that available technology and ran with it, and so did their art design and their art direction, and that was continued in Myst 5 End of Ages. But now Obduction, for the first time, you really feel as if this time the technology hasn't really held them back, that they could now show and create and render in real 3D what they wanted to do. And even though the choice of video in some situations is peculiar, especially now that I've seen, you know, shortly before I died, real-time 3D figures, you know, of course, with today's technology, you can make faces and people look really good, and with performance capture, that they look eerily real. I mean, look no further than, for example, the Tomb Raider games. It's amazing what you can do there, and the thing is, in that case, you would have expected it to use it everywhere, but here it tried to mix, you know, the video, pre-recorded video, and then also now real-time 3D characters, even though they were dead, or they were in stasis, so they're not moving. And I think the biggest problem, the suspension of disbelief in that case, is God. As soon as you have them move, you know, and the facial expressions and everything doesn't seem as natural or as fluid as the video versions did. But nevertheless, technology now seems to finally be where it has to be for them to create the kind of worlds that they wanted to create, and you can freely walk through it. The puzzles are really nice. The idea to teleport back and forth is also great. Maybe overdone, and that I will see how more of this we'll see in later parts of the game, because this was now one section in one world where this was really the main centerpiece you know, figuring out how to move things back and forth, and really fully grasping the concept of being able to replace here with there. So if you teleport, you're not teleporting yourself, you're more or less creating this little bubble, and you move this whole bubble from A to B, and whatever was in the original place of the bubble will be replaced, so you effectively trade places. And this became part of this puzzle. And yeah, how this works, that first you can do this to create pathways and then open up pathways, and then this is extended by the labyrinth puzzle, where you not only use this back and forth thing to turn it around, but like I did, you go back and forth to actually replace pieces of the puzzle, pieces of the labyrinth, to actually get where you want to. So yeah, after that second list of backers, you know, see there's an even longer list of backers moving through. I'm not gonna wait for this one. So I will load this game. Let's see how far back it is. Oh, it's here. It's not too far back. This is interesting because what I could do now is, let me show you. Go here. And here. Now we're back here, remember this? And now I need to figure out a way to do this. I think this will be quickest. Oh yeah, I'm on the wrong side. But be not afeared. Because after all this time, I know a bit how to move around. Again, notice this architecture. This will be interesting. I'll show you in a second. By the way, this is the part where I get stuck. Because I was like, okay, I'm here, where can I enter a code? I didn't notice that I could just click this and then there would be the number field where I could enter the code. And that was where I was stuck in my last video. I had a code, didn't know where to put it in. Because I wasn't smart enough to click that little piece of plastic to open up the number pad. Stupid me. So now, here's how you would solve this puzzle without going to the internet. No, no, no. There you go. Let's do a screenshot of this. And we go all the way back. Oh yeah, and this slab of stone here, you might ask, why is this here? Well, actually, This is a piece of another world transported here because you needed to move it around to gain access in the world where it's originally belonging to. That's the problem with this kind of teleportation. You bring whole pieces of the world with you, and if you go there on with other means, is that the original part? Whatever you needed to be there is now gone. Go back. Down the path.
Don't panic. This is the best way to keep everyone safe. Just stay on this path and cross the first bridge. Then keep going until you get to that sign-in area. You'll get more information after you sign in. Don't panic. This is the best way to keep everyone safe.
Interestingly, if you look at this map, there is already this red thing, so could it be that they had prior knowledge of the bomb? Oh yeah, so this is not so... I'm only able to go back there after I found out how to do 222. So is this, see this piece of alien landscape that was outside of our first world. And now here, maybe I can use the laser to destroy this. This guy looks quite dead. Because what you learn throughout the game is that blue lasers destroy red laser stuff. But it's harmless to everyone else. Except him. Oh, see, remember what I said about mimicry? When his language abilities were fading? He's one of these. Oh, so I destroyed the bomb, and it looks like destroying the bomb has started the process of bringing them back to life, because this looks like, you know, unfreezing. And by removing the the red stuff, it shows his original form. So he was an alien after all, which is why his mimicry things broke. This is one seed that is still unopened. Ah, that's the tree. So we increase the water level so the tree can take water in again through his roots. Then we see voltage increasing. Oh, this is... Okay, this is well done. Even though this looks totally like a wallpaper. While you go down to the tree, it actually loads this whole little sub-level. This is still blocked as well, right? Yeah. So I can now go from here to here. This is wonderful. This is portal technology. I can go here to this other world without a gap, without anything. This is nice. Of course, the load time will probably come once I go upstairs again. Yep, here we go. That was quick. Now, what to do next? Apparently I can't get back in there. The problem is I can't go there the other way around either. Because I closed up that well, you could call it door, but yeah. Let's see. So let's see how this will work out, because I was so smart to block access. so that didn't work out. Yeah, I don't know if there is any way to get back there to open it up again. Otherwise, I will just go back through the tree portal. Try to see if I find a solution for the other world that I've been to. I haven't found a solution for yet. What? This was here all along? Seriously, this one was here all along, and I never figured to use it. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Ah, no, that's the one I came through. Yeah, that's how I gained access there in the first place. Ah, okay. So now we're back on the first world, and I need to figure out the best way to go to the stone world. That's too far. See, and this is the piece that I brought here, so by bringing this here, I effectively open up the pathway. Alright, I'm back again. Sorry for that. So, where did I want to go? I wanted to go to this other world that I haven't finished yet. This one should get me there. Well, that didn't mean much good, so let's get back there. And this is the room I was talking about. So now I want to make this work. I need this to rotate by 90 degrees. Counterclockwise. So for this world currently I have no concept of what I'm doing. I'm still exploring. I just found something I think is worth exploring. Now, was that 90 degrees? Could be. Let's see. Nope. I mean, it was far, but it wasn't far enough. So... let's repeat this. There we go. This is interesting. And that's how I can get to the tree. Not as long as this machine is moving. these guys. So if I had one of these seeds, I could place it in there. But I don't have one. Ah, good stuff. Try to remember, haven't there been other ways how I can swap between these places? So I can bring back the original. So let's get back up here again. And then use this one. Very well. Now here the interesting part is that some of this machinery is state machine, so like these wheels here, like these carts, the cart is either at one end or another. You can't call it over somewhere else. That's just not how it works. Which means that you have to set up things before. And for that you need to fully grasp how these systems interconnect, which I don't. At least not yet. Oh no! Abduction has crashed. That's too bad. Yeah, but on that bombshell, I shall end this stream of Obduction. Unfortunate, but I think that's enough Obduction for one day. Thank you for watching. Until next time. On my list currently is, apart from Obduction, I'm also started playing World of Warcraft Legion. Maybe I do a bit of streaming there. I don't know yet. And of course, I will try to finish Obduction sometime soon. Also, I want to do another video on No Man's Sky after the hype has a bit, you know, has dialed down a little, and the mods have come out. The game has become a totally different beast, especially if you consider the mods and everything that you could do. So hopefully I'll find time to do that. And until next time, thank you for watching.